So my name is Mwenda M'Mailutha. I'm the CEO of the Kenya National Farmers Federation, KENAFF. For the last 2 days, we've been having various meetings here at the KENAFF headquarters, the Farmers Conference Center. We started with the KENAFF National Women's Summit, where KENAFF National Women's Summit, which brings together all women farmers from across the country, they were meeting here to talk about issues that affect women farmers, particularly policy-related issues, because as you know, KENAFF is a lobby and advocacy organization. We also had what we call the KENAFF Commodities Council. This brings together all commodity associations in the country. Commodity associations are, entities like Cereal Growers Association, Coffee Producers Association of Kenya, Dairy Federation of Kenya. These constitute what we call the KENAFF Commodities Council. So these have also been meeting. And then today, most importantly, is our 76th AGM, Annual General Meeting on the 2nd of December 2022. And the theme for this year's AGM is empowering farmers is the only pathway to meaningful bottom-up development in this country. When you talk about bottom-up development or bottom-up socio-economic transformation, you cannot take away farmers from that, because farmers are the real bottom-up people in this country, in their tens of millions, working every day, in their small enterprises across the country to produce food to feed this country, to feed their families first, and to sell the surplus to the market. So we are saying that we are dedicating this year's AGM to the farmers of this country, who are the real, you could say, bottom-up people. And we are saying that if you can empower these farmers, then you transform Kenya in socially and economically. You transform Kenya if you can empower the smallholder farmers. So this is our AGM, like I have said. We've seen the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture and Livestock Development, Honorable Mithika Linturi. He's joined us. He's told us that our strategic plan, the KENAFF Strategic Plan 2022 to 2026, captures very well the transformation agenda of the Kenya Kwanza government. Because the Kenya Kwanza government talks about agriculture, they talk about the money they want to spend in the agricultural sector, they talk about lifting over 2 million farmers from poverty, they talk about, for the last time in this country, assuring food and nutrition security. These are the same things we talk about in our strategic plan, and I'm very happy that the Cabinet Secretary has said that he's transferring Kilimo, the office from Kilimo House, where the ministry is headquartered, to the grassroots, where farmers are. That is very good, because when the Cabinet Secretary says that, it means that this is someone who is ready to go down to the farm, work with farmers, engage with them, look at their challenges, and look at ways of redressing those challenges using policies and regulatory framework. We are very happy because we've also assured the CS that KENAFF is ready to support him in that transformation agenda. We are ready to support the President's agenda of transforming this country in many ways, including in this, what we are calling KENAFF Farmers Health Insurance, where we want to bring about 1.5 million farmers paying for their own health insurance by December 2026, 500,000 farmers paying for their own insurance by December 2023. And this is a program we've realized would be important for our members, after seeing that farmers suffer the most when they get sick, because they are not insured. A lot of them are also not even paying national health insurance. So we've negotiated with Britam Insurance. It has given us a very good package. We are going to work with them to sensitize and train farmers, to get farmers understand the importance of paying for health insurance, so that when you get sick and you go to the hospital, you need to pay 10,000. You don't have to do a harambe. When someone passes on in a family, we don't have to always do harambe so that we can bury someone. We want to tell people that, farmers in particular, that it is good to prepare for these things, because we all go at some point. And if you're paying this health insurance, it also comes. It covers the last rites, And this is something we have already sensitized farmers in about 12 counties. We'll continue to do that until February of 2023. Then from March, we'll have farmers registering with this for this health insurance cover. And then we are going to launch it in July of next year, by which time we hope to have around 300,000 farmers registered. We've also assured the CS that we are supporting the President's climate action agenda. We've seen the President say that he's going to plant, or Kenyans are going to plant 15 billion trees. Indeed, the AGM of 2021, the KENAFF AGM of 2021, committed to mobilize farmers in order for 7 counties to plant 10 billion trees over 10 years between 2021 and 2030. This is something we started doing last year. Last year we had 2 national tree planting weeks, one during the March, April, May rainfall, the other one during the October, November, December rainfall. And we did the same this year, earlier in the year. Right now, as we speak, we have tree planting activities going on in 28 counties across the country. We've given the CS our commitment that we shall support the President's agenda in that, since we are already committed to plant 10 billion trees. All that we are now asking for is to work with the Ministry of Environment and Forestry to ensure that this plan that farmers of this country are dedicated themselves to is supported fully by the government, because we know the forest cover that the President wants this country to have, the 30% forest cover by the year 2032, shall only come if farmers are involved. Without involving farmers who can plant and take care of the trees because they provide different benefits to them, economic, environmental, socio-emotional, we cannot attain the 30% forest cover. Then, of course, tomorrow we are also going to continue with our IGM. That's when we finish and release the delegates who have come from 43 counties and 48 community associations across the country. And then next week we are having what we call the KENAFF National Youth Summit. We'll bring model young farmers from across the country, about 170 model young farmers, to come and learn from each other, exchange ideas, share experiences, so that we can showcase that actually there is money to be made. There are decent livelihoods that can be made from the agricultural sector. So that is something we'll be doing over next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We are going to have these young people here. And we are co-hosting this conference with 2 organizations, one called SNV and the other one called Agritera. They are both Dutch organizations that we are working with on this youth development. Starting with this topic on genetically modified organisms, what we can see as the National Farmers Organization is what we need as a country is the science. The science is not fully settled, and we do believe that, of course, we cannot say that GMO is bad or GMO is good without having reasons to say that. What we would encourage the minister, the cabinet secretary, to do is to establish a scientific council that will bring all our stakeholders. We have a lot of universities here doing research. We have Egerton University, Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. We have Calro. We have many research institutes in this country. We have the ministry. We have a farmers organization like KENAFF. We have people who can really look at this issue from a Kenyan angle, not what we are being told by other people. So we think as KENAFF that what we need is the facts. We have the National Biosafety Authority. We need to listen to them. We shouldn't listen to people talking out there without any scientific grounding in whatever they could be talking about. What we need is data. This is what the data says about GMOs in this country, done by Kenyans, for Kenyans, for purposes of developing this country, not for purposes of serving anyone else. That is our position. On guaranteed minimum returns, GMR, we know that it used to be there in the 1970s, when, interestingly, the agricultural sector was very well organized. And we do see this is where the president wants to take the agricultural sector. When you hear him talk, he's talking with a lot of passion about the agricultural sector. So we believe he wants this sector to be organized. And one of the ways to organize is to assure farmers that whatever you are producing is going to fetch this kind of price in the market. With that assurance, I do believe our members, the farmers in this country, are going to produce. But now if farmers produce and then there is no market, or they produce and then they are selling at below market prices, they incur losses, they do not even break even, a lot of farmers pull out. So we are going to support the government. We know there is a Warehouse Receipt Council where KENAFF also sits to represent farmers. We are going to support the Cabinet Secretary so that we see to it that GMR is returned to the agricultural sector in this country. It's going to support a lot in strengthening our agri-food system. With regard to fertilizers, of course, we've seen the president go out and say that farm inputs are going to be subsidized. And we know all countries around the world, every country around the world subsidizes food because you cannot develop without food. Farmers are subsidized. If you look at the European Union, you look at what they call the Common Agricultural Policy. Most of the budget, most of the EU budget goes into supporting farmers. When you go to the US, you see what they call the Farm Bill, because you cannot develop, even at the household level, you cannot develop before you fend yourself. So we do support the president in his agenda to subsidize farm inputs. What we want to tell the CS, and we told him when we paid him a courtesy call, is KENAFF is with these farmers, right to the village. We know where these farmers are. We have a database of 1.6 million farmers from across the country, all 47 counties, and we keep building this database every year. When I say 1.6 million, these are the farmers who have paid membership this year. So this could be higher next year. So we would want to work with the government as the last mile organization that really delivers these inputs to the farmers. A lot of times you see what happens is that when fertilizer is given to NCPB, and nothing wrong about NCPB, but they do not know. National Cereals and Product Use Board does not know where the farmers are. But we do know, because as the reason we exist is because we want farmers to be organized into viable groups, into viable associations, into viable cooperatives, so that they can improve their enterprises, have more money in their pockets, improve their livelihoods, and have money to pay to KENAFF, because KENAFF is a membership-based organization. So we know where these farmers are. We have this database. What we'd ask the CS is KENAFF should be supported to establish a national farmers database, disaggregated into value chains and disaggregated into locations where the farmers are, not just the county, but also the sub-county and the ward, such that now if fertilizer is given, for instance, let's say it's given to Kiambu, we can say this is where maize farmers are, this is where coffee farmers are, this is where banana farmers are. And remember also, fertilizer is also about other value chains. It's also about tea. It's also about coffee. It's also about other crops. So when you have an organization like KENAFF that knows where these farmers are in the different value chains, I think we could add a lot of value to this government subsidy program. And I do believe the CS, just like us, assured us is going to support KENAFF to do that.
First, like the CEO has mentioned, we have this farm forestry program, which of course we expect will be very positive in changing the climate. Two, as farmers, we have intentions of growing the right crops in the right place. We do not want to continue just having crops. We would like to be focused on what grows best in what area. This is the kind of thing that we would like to advise our farmers all the time, so that people don't lose, because there are places where, of course, people were growing certain crops, but they can't grow them there anymore because of the climate change. We, like he said, we know who they are. We know who would benefit, because you realize that there are incidences where fertilizers or any other inputs get to the public, and the public just pick. Especially when they are subsidized, there are people who will pick and then go to sell. But we are aware who the farmers are, and we know who would benefit from such subsidies. So in a way, if we participate, we know that they'll go to the right people. Well, this particular year, or these last 2-3 years, have been particularly difficult because many farmers, of course, lost, especially the livestock farmers in the drier areas. They lost most of their livelihood. So one of the challenges, of course, is how to get back to production. If, for example, you had 100 cows and you lost them all, then the biggest challenge now is how to get back to production. So we are hoping, of course, that there will be some mechanism that can help these farmers get back to their livelihood.